Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. We have a brand new Serie A league player to grind for with this 89 rated Javier Pastore, and that is worthy of the Whopper button.
Tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
I'm going to go over the best way, the fastest way, share with you some squad ideas so that you can just dominate these objectives. But before we begin, if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. So I will say I am a slight bit disappointed with this card. He is solid overall, but there's just nothing. It's like one of those cards where if he had just a little bit more here and a little bit more here, then maybe he would be OP, but he's just lacking in a couple areas. I will say, though, he's got Roma link, so if you completed that, gosh, what's his name? El Shaarawy. I don't know why his name slipped me, but if you completed El Shaarawy, that gives you a nice link. If you completed Dybala, that's another Argentinian strong link, so he does give you some good link options, but let's go over what you need to do. And I'll say first and foremost, I get this question a lot, how much time do you have left? This one will expire at the end of the season. If you look at the top right, 13 days, 23 hours, basically 2 weeks to get this done. First things first, this is the main grind right here. Win 15 matches using only Serie A players in the starting 11 in the live FUT Friendly Managerial Masterpiece. So those of you guys who have been doing objectives all year know all about Managerial Masterpiece. You can only take a 77 rated squad into the team, or into the friendly. So if you've got CR7, Dybala, Tonali, Koulibaly, you're going to have to limit who you pick, and I'll show you some of the best options to use to get this objective done. But that is the main grind right there. Score 30 goals using Serie A players. Now, this is where we get into a little bit of the grind because it's hard to play golden goal or exclusively golden goal. I've been trying to say something like maybe we could play to 2 goals and people quit, something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure if that'd be any faster or not. Maybe it depends on how fast the goals are scored, but score 30 goals using Serie A players. If you play 15 full matches, you're going to get 30 goals with Serie A players. The only thing I ever do caution about, if you're someone who likes to have lone Mbappe coming off the bench or lone Maradona, then make sure you're still banging in goals with Serie A players because, Mbappe's Ligue 1 and Maradona counts as an icon. So you do need to bang in goals with Serie A players and assist goals with Serie A players. So it shouldn't be a problem. Then we have our little bit of a challenge. This one I don't mind as much. We've been having some with crosses, which is a little bit more frustrating. This one is assist with the through ball in 4 separate matches. And if you don't know, through ball is the Y button or the triangle. Through balls are OP this year. You should be able to get them left and right. And it's pretty much, I've even had it before. We had an icon swap. Sometimes you had to have a through ball, so I was just like spamming through balls. I even had a through ball where I was on the line, passed backwards, and it still counted as a through ball. So it doesn't have to be that traditional through ball where you've got the ball at midfield, you've got a runner, and you send in that through ball into space, and your striker runs onto it and scores a goal. It doesn't have to be that. Pretty much as long as you hit the Y button or the triangle button and then being in a goal, it's going to count as an assist with the through ball. And then feeling finesse. Score a finesse goal using Serie A players in 6 separate matches. So for me personally, this one's not that hard. It's more just mentally thinking of, okay, yeah, I've got to do a finesse shot. I've got to get a finesse goal. So sometimes it's a little frustrating because you want to get in a better position. But if you just hold in RB or R1, hold that in while you press the shoot button, they'll do that side-footed animation to kind of curl it around the keeper and get it into the back of the net. So it's not that hard to do. It's more just mentally thinking about, okay, when you're in a good position, sometimes even if you just hit it into an open net, just hold the RB, R1, get that finesse goal. So it's just more mentally being aware of that. The only other bad thing about Pastore, you really can't combine him with any other objectives like Ruben Neves, who we started on. You've got to have 11 Premier League players. Fofana, we're kind of combining Fofana and Ruben Neves at the same time. So I'm not sure if I will wait a week and hope that maybe we get something else that we can combine. Because I like it better because honestly, I feel like Pastore for most of us is just going to be fodder. He's an okay card, but I just don't see us being like, oh my gosh, I've got to change my team around, get Pastore into the team. Now, if he slots perfectly into your team, helps you link Shaarawy, helps you link Dybala, then fine, go with him. He's not going to be a horrible card or anything like that. He's just not going to be that like OP meta next level card. But I'm hopeful that, and that may be what I do. I may this week kind of grind on Neves and Fofana, trying to get both of them done, and then hope that maybe we get something next Friday or through the week where I can combine Pastore with some other objective. But let me show you the team I'm recommending to kind of go through this. And what I like to do is kind of give you the building blocks. So what I'm showing at first is not 100% what I recommend, but these are the building blocks I recommend. So then we can plug in some of our better players. So I like to approach this as what is a good team you could use if you started playing FIFA yesterday. So these are all easily acquirable players. So for example, in net, what I generally look for is a low rated keeper who's got a lot of height. So Tataru Sanu is 6'6". So lots of height. I've played him before in other objectives. Now, one thing we do have now, and I don't think we've had a Serie A challenge since this has happened, but Tomori has a Milan card now, and he's one of the best managerial masterpiece center backs there are. Make sure you also, if you've still got your Chelsea Tomori, hold on to your Chelsea Tomori and keep your Milan Tomori. So I definitely recommend him. He's amazing as a managerial masterpiece center back. I'm recommending this Mojica. Now, he is another one that I'm hoping you have held on to. He has moved to La Liga. So if you don't have this Mojica, you can probably... I forgot to take a look at him. I was kind of looking at some of the other stuff. Let's see what Mojica is going for on the market at the moment. Looks like his card is getting a little pricey, so you will have to make that determination if you want to go that route. The next best gold left back, in my opinion, is Theo Hernandez. So let's just kind of take a look at this real quick. But he is 80 rated, so that may throw off some other things because so many of the other ones just don't have a lot of pace. So let's see. Yeah, so there's Theo Hernandez's gold card with 92 pace. Maybe you could get away with this Mario Rui with 82 pace, but you can just see here like Rodriguez and Crescito and Gulam, they're all just fairly slow, and you want as much pace as possible for your wingers. So I'm hoping you still have that Mojica card, or Mojica. I'm not 100% sure how he pronounces it. Probably Mojica. But, if you don't have that one, maybe you could invest in it. I mean, probably not buy it today, but buy it, a few days from now. I bet that price will come back down, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 coins, and maybe that would be worth getting them, having them for the rest of the year, because it seems like Managerial Masterpiece is where things are going to be, and it's a really, really good card. In the midfield, now I've got this once to watch Tonali, but that's the exact same as Gold Tonali. He's a really good midfielder. I'm recommending Nainggolan, although what I want to say is we're going to go over some changes here in a minute as well. Again, this is just kind of a base, and then I want you guys to take a look at your team and maybe put in some of the better options that you can do, and we'll go over that in just a minute. Right winger, Lozano is great, and I also recommend, plug these guys into your favorite formation. I'm playing 3-5-2 at the moment, so Lozano, great pace. Lasagna, a great striker for this. Balde, a great striker for this. Gervinho, great pace. Bruno Perez. So, this is what I'm recommending as your base. Now, let me show you what you can do. So, what I've done, I've put some of my best Serie A players. And the reason I don't want to put someone like De La Feu in the starting lineup, I didn't mean to put him there, but you'll see the example. A lot of you may not have that De La Feu. So, what I want you to do is come over here, basically, and then you can just go to your Serie A team and just sort it. Now, for example, I even have gold CR7. I've got Kulusevski. I've got Tonali's 87. I've got What If Caputo. I've got this Kessie. I have two versions of Diogo Dalot. So, I've got some nice cards that I could use. So, go through your Serie A squad, maybe put together something like this as a base, and then see where you want to improve. Now, one place that I would say, I love Nainggolan in game, but one of my favorite cards this year has been this Duncan. So that's one of the first changes I'm going to put. So I've got Duncan already in my team, but you may not have taken Duncan. You may have used him in an SBC. So if you don't have Duncan, then this Nainggolan is great as a two-way midfielder, but if you do have Duncan, try to get him into the team. If you've got this De La Feu, try to get him into the team. Now, this is what I'm going to show you as well. Remember, we can have a 77 rated squad, so I can put De La Feu out there. I've got Duncan, I've got De La Feu. I can also put CR7 if you've got this flashback CR7. So now we've got some more firepower. I can also put this Pereira into the team, but I have to put him out there instead of like an 83. So maybe I would change up the lineup a little bit, so something like that. I'm just showing you the amount of firepower you can have. So we went from that base team where, we didn't have, where Nainggolan was our highest rated card. Now we have De La Feu, we have What If Pereira, we have flashback CR7. Now we've got some firepower. We've got some pace at the back, because sometimes that's where you can run into trouble. Managerial Masterpiece. People love to bring on lone Mbappe. People love to bring on lone Maradona. If you don't have that pace at the back, they're just going to overrun you. And that is one game mode where one Mbappe going up against slow defenders can just win the match by himself. So Keep that in mind. The other thing you can do, I don't think we can have Dybala here. Yeah, so once I put Dybala in, then that takes it off. But if you've got this Dybala, let's just take a look at that. Let me rebuild the team a little bit because we can have Duncan, put Lozano back, put Gervinho back. So if you've got this Dybala and you want to have him out there, if I want to put, I think I can put Dybala here. And I can put, is it CR7 there? Yeah, and I can have CR7. So now we've got Dybala, we've got CR7. And so I'm showing you here how much firepower you can bring into the squad and still have a really solid back line that's going to be playable in game. Then we would still have Gervinho, or if you want to put De La Feu here, and then I think we could change this to Lozano. Yeah, so then you have Lozano, who is a great runner, and then I would probably put De La Feu and Dybala as my strikers, or or as a cam or something like that, because you want your best cards up top to be able to do some damage for you. So you've got a lot of firepower you can use there, but. And let's take a look at the Pastore card. I forgot to do that. Let's look at Pastore. Let's look at what we are going to be playing for. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is another one. It kind of reminds me of that Gonzalo Guedes that we got, I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that, where if he just had just a little bit more here or there, then maybe he would just have been OP, but just it's like lacking just a little bit. So first and foremost, he really needs a pace boost. So, we're maybe looking at putting a Hunter on him from the beginning. That makes him 91 acceleration, 97 sprint speed. Then that makes his attack positioning, his shooting better. His passing is pretty top-notch. 92 vision, 95 short passing, good long passing, great curve. As far as player traits, he doesn't really have anything except for flair that could maybe be handy in game. But then you look at his agility and balance is like a little bit poor, especially, for a 6'2" player, it's not that bad. But when we're talking about these taller players, pretty much with the exception of maybe CR7, they just don't play that well in game unless they've got more agility. So I've also experimented. You can maybe put an engine on this Pastore. If you're going to play him as just a pure cam, you generally don't need as much pace. And then you look at his stamina, when while it's not poor, we're kind of at the stage of the game where we're just like running up and down the pitch, back and forth. So sometimes even 80 stamina doesn't quite hold up that much. Like maybe it did at the beginning of the game because we're getting so many cards now, plus 90 stamina. So it's a very, very solid card. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those that, like, maybe if it was 91 acceleration and just say it was 91 acceleration, 91 sprint speed, then maybe we could just boost a couple of these other stats and this would be just an OP card. But it's just lacking just a little bit in a couple areas. But other than that, it's a really strong card, and I think it would come in handy for you. Probably wouldn't last through team of the season or anything like that, but that's the other good thing. It's 89 rated, so that's great fodder. I'm not even sure what the cheapest 89 is on the market. Let's take a look at that just really quick. Like, just look up a cheap 89. Is Ederson 89 or no? He's 80. Let's see. Let's look up Neuer then. So fodder may also be increased because we've got a new party bag. Well, let's just see what the cheapest 89 is. I'm not even sure. So we're talking about getting like 55, 60,000 coins worth of value just by completing it. I enjoy completing the challenges personally, and I'm hoping that we're going to get another objective because we only have 2 weeks left in the season. So maybe next week if they give us an objective, it won't be as restrictive. So maybe we could combine Pastore with something else. But anyways, boys, this is going to wrap it up for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe down below. Check the description, join my Discord server. But I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.